Welcome to this week's Winter Journal Reflection. As we move through the season of wintering, I invite you to slow your pace, soften your breath, and create a quiet, sacred space for yourself. Whether you're listening while the world feels rushed, wrapped in a favorite blanket at home, or stealing a few still moments in the midst of full days, know that this time is an invitation to rest, to listen, and to receive. This week, we'll be exploring weathering winter, allowing it to gently shape our prayers, reflections, and intentions. Winter reminds us that not all growth is visible and that God often does his deepest work in the unseen places of our lives. As you listen and later reflect in your journal, remember this practice is not about striving or fixing. It's about presence, about trusting that even now, even here, God is faithfully at work within you, nurturing what will one day bloom. So settle in, open your heart, and let's begin this week's journey together, honoring the sacred collaboration unfolding between you and your Creator in this quiet and meaningful season. Week 9, Weathering Winter. To weather winter means more than simply surviving it. It means learning to thrive within its constraints, finding strength in its challenges, and discovering beauty in its harshness. Weathering requires resilience built not through resistance, but through adaptation, not through fighting the season, but through learning to dance with its unique rhythms. Watch how creation weathers winter with grace. Trees bend with ice storms rather than breaking. Their flexibility becomes their strength. Animals adapt their behaviors, growing thicker coats, changing migration patterns, and entering hibernation when rest serves them better than activity. The earth itself weathers winter by going deep, protecting what matters most while letting the surface rest. Weathering winter also means learning the art of conservation, saving our energy for what truly matters, saying no to demands that drain us unnecessarily, and recognizing that survival sometimes looks like doing less rather than more. It's wisdom that knows when to push forward and when to hunker down, when to be active and when to rest deeply. The goal isn't to escape winter, but to weather it so well that we emerge not just intact, but transformed, stronger in our resilience, deeper in our faith, more grateful for warmth when it returns, and more prepared for whatever season comes next. Observations of seasonal living. Weathering well requires adaptation rather than resistance. The strongest survivors are often the most flexible, not the most rigid. Sometimes thriving means doing less, not more. What helps us weather one winter better prepares us for the next. Sensory notes. Texture. The protective warmth of layers and the solid strength of weathered wood. Sound. Wind howling outside while we rest safely inside in the steady rhythm of endurance. Scent. Wood smoke promising warmth and the clean sharpness of air that tests and strengthens. Feeling. The quiet satisfaction of resilience and the deep peace of weathering storms together. Let's talk about this idea of weathering a winter season. I'm all for preparing. Remember, recovering control freak here. But in this life, we can prepare all we want, and life is still going to life, which means things aren't always going to play out like we hope or envision them to. This used to totally throw me for a loop. I had done everything I could to prepare and control the outcome. So what was I supposed to do when what I expected didn't happen? Well, I typically fell apart and couldn't deal with it. That became the story I told myself for many years. When life gets hard, I can't handle it. Until I realized something that changed everything. I didn't have to handle it. Life changed when I realized I wasn't responsible to handle the things I wasn't responsible to handle. Read that again if you need to, because it's easy to miss. And even better, I could fully trust the one who was responsible for holding all things together for my good. Now, I'm sure I don't have to clarify that we absolutely have certain responsibilities, our choices, our free will, how we show up in this life. Those matter. But after that, I'm secure and confident that wherever I find myself, I'm choosing to cover myself in God's grace and goodness, knowing He is my sanctuary and safe place. Weathering winter isn't about having it all together or controlling the outcome. It's about knowing where to take shelter when the storms come. Prompts to prayerfully process. Learning to weather difficult seasons well is a spiritual skill that combines practical wisdom with deep trust. It requires honest assessment of our resources, willingness to adapt our expectations, and faith that God will provide what we need to not just survive, but thrive through challenging times. What winter season, literal or metaphorical, are you currently weathering? What spiritual winter gear do you need to navigate this season well? How might God be teaching you resilience through this challenging time? Psalm 9, verse 9 says, God's a safe house for the battered, a sanctuary during the bad times. Season of now. Imagine yourself preparing to go outside on a harsh winter day. You would dress appropriately, warm coat, sturdy boots, gloves, hat, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. You'd prepare not with fear, but with practical care for your well-being. Now consider the spiritual winter you might be weathering. What kind of spiritual preparation does this season require? What practices, relationships, or truths do you need to layer on to weather well? Place your hand over your heart and feel its steady beating. This heart that has weathered every storm you faced so far. This heart that keeps going even when the path is difficult. Speak this prayer. God, you have weathered every storm with me. Give me wisdom to prepare well for the challenges ahead, strength to bend without breaking, and faith to trust that you will provide everything I need to not just survive, but thrive through this winter season. Feel the peace that comes from being prepared and accompanied. Natural observation. Notice the various strategies creation uses to weather winter successfully. Some trees are evergreens, maintaining their covering year-round. Others are deciduous, releasing their leaves to conserve energy. Some animals migrate to warmer climates. Others hibernate. Still others adapt by growing thicker fur or changing their diets. There's no single right way to weather winter. There's only wisdom in recognizing what works for your particular situation. The most successful winter survivors are those who prepare ahead, adapt flexibly, and conserve their resources wisely. They don't fight winter, they work with it, finding ways to thrive within its limitations rather than being destroyed by them. What seasons surround you in this moment? Describe what you see outside your window, what you feel on your skin, and what you hear in the air. If the trees could share their wisdom about weathering harsh seasons, what would they tell you? What strategies is God providing to help you weather your current challenges well? How might this difficult season be building resilience you'll need for future growth? Sacred awareness, sacred pauses. What helped you weather difficulties with grace this week? Where did you find unexpected strength during challenging moments? Divine details. How did God provide exactly what you needed to weather hard moments this week? What signs of resilience are you noticing in yourself? Spirit's movement. What is your heart learning about flexibility and adaptation during this season? How is God building your capacity to thrive even in difficult circumstances? Sacred spaces. Where do you feel most protected and prepared to weather life's storms? What space reminds you that you have what it takes to weather whatever comes? 90 Days of Intention, Week 9. Growth. How did I choose adaptation over resistance when facing challenges this week? Reflection. What is God teaching me about weathering difficult seasons with grace and wisdom? Celebration. How will I honor the resilience God is building in me through these winter experiences? The God that designed and formed you knows you better than you know yourself. Your Creator planted the seeds of His image uniquely in you and desires to co-labor with you in revealing the beauty of His goodness and mercy in the world. He desires to walk with you through every season and is faithful to complete what He started in you.